What's up guys? So today I'll be showing you guys how to connect to your PLC through C Sharp ADS. So the good thing about C Sharp ADS is that the C Sharp ADS package on Nougat is actually fully supported by back-off developers. So today I'll just be showing you guys how to connect to your PLC project. So in this case I'll just be using a local project with just a variable here through C Sharp, and how you can configure and read and write variables through C Sharp to your PLC. Okay, so this is assuming that you have a C Sharp IDE or any IDE that you have. So let's say Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code or whatever IDE you guys want. You guys can even use a notepad if you guys want, but um, let's not use a notepad. So today I'll just be using VS Code because that's the one I have and it's pretty easy to use. So I'll just be guiding you guys through how to connect, how to download the package, how to read and write variables and all that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go into my command prompt because I'll be using Visual Studio Code. So if you're using Visual Studio, it would be much easier to create a project. But through VS Code, it's much easier to just create a project through the command prompt. So that's what I'll be doing. So the first step, I guess, will be just to create a project. So let's just find the so if you're using Visual Studio Code, you want to change directory into your folder, make a new directory, so mkdir in new folder 1. Alright, so let's change directory to new folder 1 and .NET new console. So what this does is it creates a new console project in this folder, and .NET is actually the environment that we're going to be using. Okay, so if you want to open it in Visual Studio Code, this is what you do code space dot and dot. How easy is that? If you're using Visual Studio, I think it will be much easier for you guys because you guys have actually full support for creating a new project in C Sharp. Okay, cool. Whoa, there goes my notes. Bug. Yes. So let's just let the VS Code run. It will just be adding the bin folder for you guys, and this is actually where you can see all the dependencies are installed, and here you have your program C Sharp. So let's just code out the template because personally I don't like the new template. This template is kind of too loose for me. It's kind of like Python. I prefer more structure in my program, so I'll just write that down really quickly. So okay, so great. Now we have a template done. This template might be different for what kind of .NET version you guys might be running. I'm using .NET 6, I think. Let me just check. .NET version. So yeah, I'm using .NET 6.0.1. So you guys can either use that or you can use, I think there's .NET 9 coming out soon, or is it available? I'm not too sure. So now let's actually install the TwinCat ADS package in C Sharp. So we can do this by either going to command prompt and typing .NET add package, or we can use it if you're using Visual Studio, Microsoft Visual Studio. You can go into references and just manually add it in by using drag and drop or something. I don't know, I'm not too sure. But in my case, I'm using Visual Studio Code, so I'm gonna have to do it through the command prompt. So I'm gonna be doing .NET add package and .NET add package. Let's find it. Okay, so it says backoff.twincat.ads. So I'm actually just gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste this in. Wait for it to install. Okay, cool. So now if we go into the C# project, you can see that it included this header file as a package reference. Okay, cool. So now we can actually start using our TwinCat ADS C# package to read and write variables in our PSC. So let's do this. So using TwinCat .ads. So basically what this does is basically just imports as a reference to TwinCat.ads. So let's just delete this hello world. So what we want to do first is we want to identify, we want to create our PLC instance. So we're gonna have to do it like this. So data type will be ADS client. The name of our the name of our client will be just called my clients. You can call it whatever you want. New ADS client. You can either use your PC's AMSN ID if you're doing prototyping, or you can use your PLC's AMSN ID if you want to do it in production. In my case, I'm just gonna be using my own local AMSN ID. So I'm just gonna do my client dot connect. So AMS address will, in my case, it will just be AMS net ID dot local, and the port number will be 851 because I'm using TwinCat 3. If you're using TwinCat 2, it's 801. So let's just do a debugging statement here. So console.writeline ADS client has been initialized. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is create a variable handle. The variable handle is basically just like a variable that links to your PLC to like kind of just monitor the variable that you want to keep track of. So if you look back at TwinCat, you can see that the variable that I want to control is bTeleRun. It's currently true though. Let me just set it to false. Okay. So this is the variable I want to control, and it's under the test program. So we're gonna have to do test1.bTeleRun in our string. So what we want to do is we want to create a new variable called bTeleRun, and we want to do my client dot create variable handle, and we want to have a string symbol path. So the string symbol path in this case will be test1 dot bTeleRun. So test1 dot bTeleRun. So we successfully created our variable handle. So if we want to read or write anything related to bTeleRun in TwinCat, we just have to reference bTeleRun here. So now let's actually read the value of bTeleRun in VS Code. So let's just do var response goes to my client dot read any. So the first argument it accepts is the variable handle. So let's do bTeleRun, and the type of is type of bool. And let's console log that. Hold on. Type of bool. Okay, now let's just console log that just to see what it says. Okay, so it says that the ADS client has been initialized from a debugging statement here, and over here it says false because TwinCat, we set it in TwinCat to be false. If we write it to be true and we rerun this program, it says true. If you want to write the variable in C# ADS, the command will just be my client dot write any. So write. It just says okay. So the syntax of it will be my client dot write any, and then you want to insert a variable handle. In this case, it's just bTeleRun. and the object value would just be false because it's true now, right? Yes, it's true now. And let's just copy and paste this code. So what this does, it basically reads the initial state. So let's just comment read initial state and then prints it out, write final state and print it out. So what this does, it writes the value to false of b_run. It reads again, it reads b_run again, and it prints out b_run. Okay, let's run that. Oh, sorry, forgot to save. Okay, cool. So over here, ADS client has been initialized. Initially it was true, now it's false. We can cross-check through here. It was true, now it's false. If you don't believe me, let's just toggle this back to, let's just toggle it back. Hold on. Let's just toggle it back to false, I mean true. We can run it again. So yes, it was true, now it's false. Okay, cool. So in the next video, I'll be showing you guys how to connect the Telegram bot to C# ADS as kind of like an exercise on what's possible with C# ADS. Yeah, that's all. Take care. Bye bye. Hope you guys learned something.